I'm a killer. I get in the ring with the best people. And you get in the ring with a guy who's 50, he's literally nearly as old as me. The only proper boxer you fought was Tommy Fury, and he beat you.
Fought multiple boxers with professional records, including Mike Tyson himself.
Peak Tyson, you wouldn't have lasted 10 seconds.
And you versus going to the gym, you're still a fat ass. We can make up hypotheticals. You should go to the gym. If you went to the gym,
I've been twice this week. You
don't think I can be Mike Tyson. I don't think you go to the gym.
I think you're a great YouTuber.
You think that your opinion matters.
Well, why are you doing my show if it doesn't?
Oh, I'm just taking your audience to sell pay-per-views. I don't give a f***. You dumbass. This is a fucking business enterprise.
Cheers, Jake. Really enjoyed that. Do you think Jake Paul is a proper fighter, proper boxer?
I think he's a good fighter. Not a great fighter. He tried to be a good one, but he's not already a good fighter, so it's okay.
I mean, you've been a champion. Your father was one of the great iconic champions in boxing. Do you think Jake Paul is finally going to get his comeuppance on Saturday?
I think for the first time fighting I fight a real boxer. So I want to test him. And I want to find out if he's good or not. So I want to find out this Saturday.
What did you think of his fight with Mike Tyson, who was obviously 58 years old?
I think it's a great show. Make a lot of money, and that's it. You know, Mike is old. It's not the same, and that's why it look like that. So Jake take advantage of him.
You think Jake exploited him?
Yeah, of course. Mike is 58, so I don't know why Jake fighting Mike Tyson, but is I don't know.
Finally, Julio, how much money are you being paid for this fight?
Couple millions. A couple of millions.
A couple of million, and if you knock out Jake Paul, you become a global legend. That's not a bad deal.
Yeah, that's the business. Knock out Jake Paul, and next fight, and everybody's be happy Saturday.
Give me the round. Which round are you going to knock him out?
Round.
Which round?
I bet him 9.
9. Okay. So the 9th round, you knock him out.
And knock out last rounds.
There were no drug tests for that fight, and there are no drug tests for your fight. Do you think there should be?
I don't know why, and that fight don't make the anti-doping. But this fight is normal. I have bad testing, so he testing me and him, so it's different this time.
Julio, you haven't had many fights in the last sort of 4 years. Some people say you've been out of the game too long, out of the ring too long in competitive boxing. What do you say to that?
I'm stay a little bit inactive, but I'm stay training every day, sparring, be ready. So inactivity is a reality, but at the same time, I never stop training. So I always training. I always stay ready, and I think this is the difference.
Canelo was asked about you, Jake, and he said jokingly that your life was spared, but a little bit more seriously that, a brutal beatdown is what you missed by not having that fight. What's your response to that?
My response is he's 5'8". I'll see that guy anywhere end his life, for real. He doesn't want the smoke.
Jake Paul, not sparring anyone, has this time threatened Canelo with his life. He made it clear that he would have taken Canelo's heart out if they had gotten to see each other somewhere.
I know I can take him. I know I can. And people say it's crazy. People have a lot to say. Everyone has a lot to say, but I'm the one actually doing things. I put my money where my mouth is, and I was the one ready to fight Canelo May 3rd. and instead he took another deal last minute when we were signed up to fight. Yeah, man. I mean, he also says he's the face of boxing, but his events tank. He put on the most boring fight recently.
The crossfire between Jake Paul and Canelo Alvarez seems as old as 2024, when the social media sensation Come Fighter challenged the Mexican icon through an online bout of verbal jabs.
You're a money-hungry squirrel chasing your next nut. The truth is, these sports-washing, shady characters are paying you hundreds of millions of dollars to stop our fight from happening because they couldn't fathom the fact that they can't create a bigger fight than me and you.
This time it began with loudmouthed attention seeker Jake Paul accusing Canelo of ducking young talent, fighting bums to boost his legacy.
So we had a signed contract to fight. Here you can see Canelo's signature and my signature to the right, claiming he's not fighting YouTubers. Bullshit. Look at the poster. We were announcing Tuesday, February 11th, claiming he fights real fighters, but he's fighting Crawford, a 135-pound fighter, and running from a real fighter like David Benavidez, you bitch.
But this was not enough. Probably because Jake Paul recently took a toll on Canelo and threatened him to take his heart out if ever got a chance to do so.
I'll beat him in boxing, but at the end of the day, if it was just man-on-man in the street, I would literally rip his heart out.
Jake is fighting, whether he's in the same weight class or not, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who is a former world champ. And two, he's a man that also fought Canelo Alvarez, and Canelo couldn't stop him. Jake, void of all context, is going to essentially say, if I stop Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., I did something Canelo couldn't.
Meanwhile, what seemed to begin as simply one challenge too far for Jake Paul is now billed to bring him face to face against one son of an icon. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. also talked about the Jake Paul versus Canelo fight on the same press conference. He declared that Jake doesn't know why there are levels in boxing, and this is why is being trolled for having a different career.
Oh, I think that is much better than him, you know. It's not the same level, so that's why I say that my career is different than his career, because I don't think he has a chance with Canelo.
Hey, Julio, KO or decision? KO.
Canelo versus Jake Paul was a blowout out, but now all eyes are on his upcoming fight scheduled for later this year. Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr. is a fight many believe to be Paul's most legitimate test in boxing till now. Amidst all this, in response to Jake Paul's usual trash talk, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. cleared his stance, saying that he's not taking the bait.
Stupid people stuff, you know, like everybody can say whatever you want, you know, like he's nobody, man. He's like a popular social media guy and train hard, so.
He explained that if someone with real experience or a boxing career had said something about him, he might have given it some attention. But in Jake's case, he sees the insults as part of Jake's gimmick, just another way for Paul to entertain himself by creating drama.
If like Juan Manuel Marquez say something about myself, maybe I put attention on Marquez or Tyson or guys like that, but Jake Paul, man, he's living with this chat, you know, like talk trash in media is his best, you know. He's pound for pound #1 in this.
With all the critics always behind Jake Paul for ruining the game of boxing and then following the dispatch of Nate Diaz, Tyron Woodley, and an aging Anderson Silva, or Mike Tyson, Paul has pressed on to get that recognition of a real boxer. Except that Chavez Jr. is more than that. He is a former world champion, son of Julio Cesar Chavez's, and raised in a boxing environment from the time he was born.
Oh, great, man. I feel great because it's what I want, you know, the big fights, and I'm here, so I'm ready, and I'm very excited, yeah.
We've always wanted to fight each other. There's been some shit talk back and forth for a couple of years, and my goal is to become world champion.
After winning the WBC middleweight title in 2011, Chavez Jr.'s reign has been plagued by poor and irregular performances, discipline concerns, and doubts over his desire. This fight has been criticized by many as well, like Dana White has shown a complete white flag that he is totally unaware of this fight. This might be true, or this might be his way of saying that he doesn't pay attention to not-so-real boxers.
And then Jake Paul is going head-to-head with you. I guess, what are your thoughts on this Saturday coming up against?
Oh, really? I didn't even fucking know that.
It's like Chavez Jr.
Who's he fighting?
Chavez Jr.
Okay.
But what are your thoughts on going head-to-head with your old pal?
Yeah. I didn't even know he was fighting, so that's how concerned I am about it. Yeah, I didn't even know.
But for Jake Paul, this is a tremendous opportunity to fight a world champion. Jake Paul talked about how defeating Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. isn't just another fight, it's about respect and legacy. He said, "I've always wanted to fight him. I've always wanted to fight legendary names in the sport. His dad is one of the best to ever do it. I like building my resume, having the best looking boxing record of all time. Mike Tyson, Tyron Woodley, Anderson Silva, the list goes on." And so just adding a Chavez name to my box rec is just really exciting for me. He said he's been drawn to fighting big names who are a part of the history of boxing. In this case, Chavez Jr. brings the legacy of his legendary father, and Paul believes defeating someone of such a respected bloodline will add to his resume.
You know, he's been doing this his whole entire life. He has a ton of experience, my most experienced fighter to date. He's a tough Mexican, comes forward, and he loves to actually bring the fight and make it entertaining. So I think it's going to be a great matchup for me, stylist.
Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. admitted that Jake's high energy and freshness could make the fight tougher than people expect. That's why Chavez Jr. said he's preparing harder than ever, knowing he needs to be in top form to give the fans a strong performance. He said, "Jake is too young, so he has a lot of energy, and that's the big part, the difficult part to fight a new guy. So it's good. I'm preparing myself better than ever, because that's what I need to make a great fight for the fans." Both fighters are well into camp now, each training with a fervor that reflects the magnitude of the outcome of their meeting. Jake Paul has been training in Puerto Rico under the supervision of BJ Flores and his strength coach Larry Wade, sharpening his skills and elevating his defensive game. As per his team, Paul has been sparring 10 hard rounds every other day and focusing a lot on body work and placement of the feet, perhaps in preparation for trying to offset Junior's volume punching and forward march. On the other side, Chavez Jr. is training in Culiacan, Sinaloa, in a no-frills gym under new trainer Rafael Contreras. Reports from his camp suggest that Julio is taking this fight more seriously than any bout since his loss to Canelo Alvarez back in 2017. He's reportedly cut significant weight already, cleaned up his nutrition, and is focused on proving he still has something left in the tank. In recent interviews, Chavez Jr. has made it clear that he sees Jake Paul as more than just a YouTuber, but also far from a seasoned boxer. Chavez Jr. said, "He has power, he has money, but he doesn't know real boxing." He then claimed that he is going to show the power of real-time boxing. He added, "I'm going to show him what it means to fight a real Mexican fighter." In a recent interview, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. made it clear that his goal is to bring relentless pressure, saying he wants to smash Jake Paul and break him down over the course of the fight.
I wanna smash.
Smash. You wanna smash Jake?
Face.
Smash
So,
his face.
no, what happened is I think it's tough. He's a good, he train hard, but still I need to box him, pressure him, you know, maybe put him in the later rounds, you know, and work the body and I don't know how good is Jake Paul really, because like Tyson is like 59, like, he's not Tyson, you know. This guy is not Mike Tyson. You know?
Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. didn't hold back when breaking down Jake Paul's fighting style. He claimed that while Paul may look physically strong, he doesn't see any real boxing ability beneath the surface.
I have nothing like boxing skill, only it's like bodybuilding, you know, train boxing and throw everything and every punch he landed. But I don't see like any skills or nothing, because you can box for 3 or 4 rounds, but after that, and when you show your skills, real skills, so it's never show nothing in boxing.
While Jake Paul brings passion and a lot of money because of his fame to the game, Chavez Jr. enters with the experience, pedigree, and technical edge. On paper, it's Paul's biggest risk. A win over Chavez Jr. would give him undeniable legitimacy. A loss, however, could derail the hype train that has powered his rise. Oscar De La Hoya, in his recent episode, has also chosen Jake Paul to win over Chavez Jr., which to many experts is a lazy fighter as well.
Jake Paul, Chavez Jr., experience or ambition? After a back and forth battle, Jake Paul edges it with a split decision in the 12th.
I think Chavez Jr. is a better name for who Anderson just beat in boxing, who is tough though. He's lazy as hell. He's probably overrated as hell. If his last name, if he wasn't Chavez Sr.'s his son, he probably would go nowhere near a world title in his life, so boxing can be manipulated in that way.
This self-centered Jake Paul again claimed that the fight would reveal the real color of Julio Chavez, which means that the Mexican icon would be embarrassed when they face each other inside the ring. Paul wanted to flip the script around, saying that Chavez Jr.'s past in the ring would not be an ominous one this time.
This is going to be the toughest fight of his career, the most embarrassing fight of his career. He's going to be exposed.
Julio, que te va a romper tu madre, güey. Más.
No, I don't think so.
Chavez Jr., however, wasn't having any of that. He quickly replied confidently and stated that this would be the first time Jake Paul would be facing a fighter with some actual boxing experience. Jake has never been challenged by an actual fighter, he said, and he'll receive a wake-up call when they encounter him in the limelight.
How do you think this fight plays out?
You know, I break him down, you know. He's always the young man, the stronger guy in the ring. So for the first time, I want to put him back, make him work, you know, extra work.
As the date draws closer, fans and pundits are split. Some believe Jake Paul's discipline and evolving skill set can overcome Chavez Jr.'s baggage. Like Logan Paul, Jake Paul's brother, thinks that this is not the first time Jake Paul is fighting a legitimate fighter, and he doesn't understand the critics always following him, even when all Jake Paul is doing is making boxing great again.
Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
I think it's one of his toughest fights.
It's definitely his toughest fight. Jake, I feel like, has gotten stiffed a few times this year with who his opponents were gonna be. This is what I don't understand about people hating on him. He's not fighting tomato cans. Every single person that he fought had a chance to beat him, and by the way, people believed that they were probably going to beat
every time.
This guy is a real boxer, so it'll be another opportunity to show that Jake Paul is a real boxer.
Similarly, Mike Perry gave his prediction on the Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fight, showing immense and strong support for Paul. He expressed full confidence that Jake would come out on top this time for real because of his confidence, despite Chavez Jr.'s background and experience in boxing.
Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who you got? That'd be interesting if Jake can beat a guy with such experience, and he's very confident, and I think he might do it. So, yeah, cool. Thank you.
As the limelight between Jake Paul and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. grows with each passing hour, the spotlight is hitting hard on what could possibly happen to this YouTube-turned boxer if he fails this time. Will Jake Paul prove he's got the guts to keep up with the boxing world's best? Or will Chavez Jr. remind us all whose son he is and what it means to be a true boxer? Now it's your turn. Who are you predicting to win? Share your predictions in the comments below. Hit that like button if you're ready for fight night, and don't forget to subscribe for all the latest breaking news, breakdowns, and exclusive reactions. Let's connect and let's get counting.